Hi betting experts, on Saturday July the 8th, the traditional ITV7, the best of the action from Haydock and Sandown, Old Newton Cup Day at Haydock and the Coral Eclipse at Sandown. The ground, well, it was on the softer side a good early in the week, but it's drying out all the time. I'm expecting perfect ground conditions. We start off with our betting expert Daily Nap, sponsored by Bet365. Runs in the 3 o'clock at Sandown. The Distaff, a listed race for fillies, 3-year-olds only, over the mile, and I think this is a good opportunity for Magical Sunset to bounce back to her best form, with the booking of Ryan Moore really catching the eye. Now, Richard Hannon has got his horses flying. They're absolutely spot on now, 10 winners in the last 14 days. And this useful filly is strongly fancied to take this valuable listed prize. She's shaped as though coming right back to her best last time out. If you watch the run back at Royal Ascot, the race was won this side by Coppice, a well-backed favourite of the Gosdens under the Tory. But on the other side, Magical Sunset shaped really well, tanking through the race, much the best on that side, but just on the wrong side of the track as things turned out. I think this mile on quickening ground, absolutely ideal. She has got a turn of foot, and this looks a great opportunity. Our betting expert value angle selection, sponsored by Bet365, runs in the 3:15 at Haydock. This is the Old Newton Cup for 4-year-olds and upwards, 1 mile 4 class 2, a cracking heritage handicap this, and I really like Sir Rumi here. Now, this one is another Richard Hannon inmate, as I say, the yard flying. Last time out at Goodwood, a very big eye catcher in a muddling small field that didn't suit him. Dropped out, never really getting involved under a negative ride from Pat Dobbs, but that form does now look a lot stronger. The winner, Courage Mon Ami's, come out and won the Gold Cup at the Royal Ascot since then, and I think this big field handicap up the long Haydock straight will definitely suit Sir Rumi on drying ground. The big plus as well, Kevin Stott in the saddle. He's top class jockey, and I think Sir Rumi, with any luck in running, will go really close here. The remaining 5 races on ITV, would do them in time order. Starting at Sandown with the 150, the Coral Charge, a Group 3, up the 5 furlong track in the middle of the course. Well, Equilateral is ridden by Jamie Spencer here. Everyone, regular listeners will know, is not my cup of tea, but you know how he's going to ride Equilateral. Be dropped out last, ridden for luck. They're going to go really strong pace here. There's a couple of definite front runners. Sometimes at Sandown they hit the hill and the complexion of the race changes, and I think it's worth chancing that Spencer can navigate a run through an Equilateral, who shaped really well behind Bradsell in a huge field for the King's Stand at the Royal Meeting. Over to Haydock, the 205, a handicap over 1 mile 6. Well, Banderos makes his handicap debut here, and I think he's got in lightly, and the main reason for that is he was only workmanlike in winning on the nod at a short price at Chester last time out in a fair little maiden. I think he's going to improve dramatically for a much more galloping track. He's very much a stayer rather than a quickener, and 1 mile 6 will be right up his street. Callan's book, the cheap pieces are on. I think he'll go really well. Back to Sandown, the 225 over 1 mile, a handicap class 2 for 3-year-olds and upwards. Well, Uzo has been a real money spinner for Jamie Osborne. He's been making hay at Maidan over the winter, and he returned to these shores with a cracking 6th last time out in the Royal Hunt Cup. Safi Osborne's book knows his quirks really well. She'll be looking to weave her way through late at a track where he's got a really good record in the past. Haydock, the 240, the Lancashire Oaks, a Group 2 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. I think the value here lies with Poptronic, who I thought ran really well for Carl Burke over this course and distance last time out behind the smart Sea Silk Road. Now, got tapped for a bit of pace there before rallying late, and I think that Sam James might try and make all the running here and keep pulling out more. I don't mind front runners against that far rail at Haydock, and I think Poptronic could take a bit of shifting if managing to dominate from the stalls. And finally, back to Sandown, the day's highlight, the Coral Eclipse, a Group 1, Class 1 for 3-year-olds and upwards, 1 mile 2. Bitterly disappointing 4-runner race. It looks a straight match on form, and I think Moore's strength on Paddington could count for plenty up the final climb. Now, Aidan O'Brien's high-class performer is thriving on a busy campaign this summer, starting off in handicaps and stepping up to another level when an impressive winner of the St James's Palace at the Royal Meeting last time out. He's 5 from 6 at up to 1 mile. I think the extra 2 furlongs will suit. He's a grinder, a finder, a real tough battler, and I think he's the one to side with here in what looks a match. Best of luck with all 7 races on ITV on Saturday, betting experts.